Salutations everyone, welcome to What Mattered. Sailor Moon is back, and that only means one thing. Transformations. For those of you who don't know, Sailor Moon was an anime that first debuted in 1995, and for anyone growing up in the 90s, that was probably the first anime you ever saw. I know it was mine. Well, a reboot, Sailor Moon Crystal, that follows the manga, a la Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, it has been released, and its premiere episode is out right now. It's all on Hulu, Crunchyroll, and a bunch of other services, so take your pick. So I watched the premiere episode. It is follows the manga, like I mentioned. The art style is actually very similar to the manga, so you know it's a little different, but still follows the basic premise of the original cartoon. And I gotta say, I was a little underwhelmed in the first episode. The transformation had like a little CG-ness to it, so that was a little weird. I'm not really a big fan of this more faithful animation to the manga, but that might just be me. I know most people actually enjoyed the first episode, just wasn't really me, but you know, it was just the first episode, so I think, you know, things will probably get better once Jupiter comes along because she's the best sailor. But if magical girl anime isn't your thing, maybe you would enjoy Knights of Sidonia, which just premiered on Netflix last week. It's still relatively new. This is just the first time Westerners can see it, and it is dubbed now. I believe the anime first wrapped in Japan just in June, so still fairly new. The manga was just translated in February, so it's very similar to like a Neon Genesis Evangelion, although it takes place in space. There are no penguin roommates, Rei Ayanami clones, and the last two episodes aren't confusing pieces of crap. I thought it was pretty good. The first season is 12 episodes. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. A little heavy-handed at times. Animation was different than most animes, and I thought that was pretty good. So definitely check that out if that's your thing. And it's only on Netflix, so go ahead and use coupon code Razor doesn't have sponsors because he sucks. At RTX last week on the RWBY panel, Rooster Teeth announced that they are making a RWBY video game with the 19-year-old programmer who you might have known as the guy who made the RWBY Grim Eclipse game that he made all by himself, and Rooster Teeth has taken him on to create their first in-house video game project. And with what one 19-year-old did on this little game, has my hopes up high for a fantastic anime that is just well set up for a third-person action game. It's going to be team-based. You can choose any of the girls. Right now, that's all that they've released. You know, Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang. Maybe more in the future. There are no release dates or platforms announced for the game yet, but we have the announcement that it's coming out, and it is definitely something to look forward to based off of a great show and with great minds behind it. Keiji Inafune's Mighty No. 9 is going through another round of crowdfunding. It reached 4 million, so the game is going to be made in the best capacity it can. This crowdfunding second go-round is just to make the game even better, adding Japanese voice acting as well as English voice acting in their stretch goals. And outside of that, in Anime Expo, it was announced that there's going to be a Mighty No. 9 TV show. So great news to all the Inafune fans out there. He's getting to do all the things that he wants, and there's going to be a TV show to, you know, further amp up this, I guess it's technically an indie title, since even though it's one of the biggest video game creators in history helming the game, it just looks like, you know, a love project that's getting all of the love from everybody, and pretty cool. Firestorm is going to be in the upcoming Flash TV show. He's been casted as RWBY ML, which you might like, hey, that guy looks familiar. Well, his cousin actually plays Oliver Queen in the Arrow of which the Flash was spun off of in the first place. So he's going to be playing Ronnie Raymond, of course. He seems a little too old for me to be Ronnie Raymond. If you don't know, he is the youngest ever member of the Justice League, but you know, it's a TV show, and then, you know, they need like an older looking guy, so I think this will suit just fine. I cannot wait for the Flash, as well as, you know, any other heroes that they're going to mix in, as well as villains. CW has a proven track record of having success with integrating different heroes and villains into their shows, and I think this is another step in that direction, and I definitely cannot wait for the Flash's first season, as well as, of course, the Arrow season 3. And just looking forward to see what else we see coming out of those studios. The EVO Fighting Tournament has kicked off. It is the #1 fighting video game tournament of the year, broadcasting through Twitch. Yesterday was a couple of semifinals and quarterfinals. You see like all the greatest fighting games. You got, you know, Ultimate Street Fighter, you got your Capcom and your Marvels, you got your Injustices, you got your Smash Bros. Melee, Blaze Blue, Tekken, couple others. King of Fighters. It's really great stuff. I definitely, guys, suggest you check it out. There's a couple of finals taking place today, and a lot of them taking place on Sunday. And if you need a rundown of all of the things, I'll leave a link to that story in the description, to where you can see what to look for, what the schedule is, and definitely recommend it to see a game being played at its highest level in a very competitive genre. It's something really cool to behold, and you should definitely check it out. PlayStation is having a flash sale this weekend with 28 titles at 99 cents a piece. Now, there's not a lot of huge titles, nothing that personally interests me, but a lot of older titles from PlayStation 1 era, including like Siphon Filter 1, 2, and 3, Toe Jam and Earl, and a couple of other ones on the PS3, the Vita. A lot of games to look at, so definitely, especially if you're, you know, nostalgic for some retro games, check the link of all the available titles, and only 99 cents, you can't go wrong. It's really nice to see PlayStation taking the initiative, really, when it comes to console flash sales at really low prices that Steam has been famous for years, and it's nice to see PlayStation kind of get on this. Hopefully this is successful and they expand this to more titles more often, and maybe Microsoft will get on the bandwagon if PlayStation sees success, because, you know, monkey see, monkey do. Competition is great, and when one company does something successful that's good for the players, the other will do the same, because more money, less problems, more money. Actually, that's basically it. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys this week. Thank you for watching. If you want to see another one of these, they come out every single Saturday, so you can hit that subscribe button if that seems like something you'd be interested in. If not, I'm just going to be here alone with no one to talk to. So